What happens when artificial intelligence becomes fast, fluent, and available everywhere, but human judgment becomes weaker, slower, and easier to outsource? That is the question modern minds and leaders must confront now, because the real risk of AI is not only job displacement, automation, or technological disruption. The deeper risk is intellectual dependency, where human beings slowly stop doing the difficult inner work of thinking because the machine can produce a polished answer before the mind has fully understood the problem. AI can write, summarize, code, design, calculate, compare, recommend, and optimize at extraordinary speed. But speed is not wisdom, fluency is not truth, confidence is not accuracy, and automation is not judgment. A machine can generate an answer, but it cannot carry moral responsibility for the consequences of that answer. It can process information, but it does not know what it means to damage a community, mislead a student, exploit a worker, weaken a culture, destroy trust, or turn a human life into a data category. That responsibility remains human, and this is why critical thinking is no longer just an academic skill or a workplace competency. In the AI age, critical thinking becomes a discipline of human sovereignty. It is how you remain the author of your judgment when machines can produce the appearance of intelligence at scale. The future will not belong only to people who know how to use AI. That skill will become common. The future will belong to people who know when to use AI, when not to use it, when to challenge it, when to slow it down, when to reject its output, when to widen the frame, and when to place human dignity above efficiency. This is where intellectual traits become more important than technical skills alone. Skills tell you what you can do when conditions are favorable. Traits reveal what you will do when pressure rises, incentives distort, authority intimidates, ideology seduces, and convenience offers you an easy way out. The first intellectual trait modern minds must embody is intellectual humility, because AI will make false confidence look professional. It can produce clean language, structured logic, and persuasive conclusions, even when the underlying reasoning is incomplete or wrong. If you confuse polished presentation with truth, you will become easy to influence. Intellectual humility means you are willing to ask, what am I missing? What assumption shaped this answer? What data is absent? What perspective has been excluded? What human consequence is invisible from my position? This is not weakness, this is correctability. In the AI age, correctability will matter more than certainty. The modern leader must be humble enough to say, this answer sounds right, but has it been tested? A student must be humble enough to say, this summary is useful, but do I understand the subject? A professional must be humble enough to say, this recommendation is efficient, but is it fair? Without humility, AI becomes a mirror that reflects your assumptions back to you in more convincing language. The second trait is intellectual autonomy, and this may become one of the defining traits of the 21st century. Intellectual autonomy is the refusal to outsource your final judgment. It does not mean rejecting expertise or distrusting every institution. It means you remain responsible for what you believe, decide, and act upon. AI can assist your reasoning, but it must not replace your ownership of reasoning. There is a sharp difference between using AI to expand thought and using AI to avoid thought. When you use AI to generate alternatives, expose blind spots, compare options, or challenge assumptions, it can strengthen your thinking. When you accept its output because it is fast, convenient, or well-written, it can weaken you. This matters deeply in leadership because a leader who approves AI-generated recommendations without understanding the assumptions, trade-offs, and consequences is no longer leading in substance. The title remains human, but the cognitive center has shifted. The question is simple. If the AI output disappeared, could you still defend the decision? Could you explain why it is right, what risk it carries, who benefits, who may be harmed, and what assumptions support it? If not, you are not exercising judgment. You are approving automation. The third trait is intellectual integrity, and this is where critical thinking becomes uncomfortable. Intellectual integrity means applying the same standards to yourself that you apply to others. Many people enjoy finding bias in their opponents, but avoid finding bias in themselves. Many leaders demand evidence from those who disagree with them, but accept weak reasoning when it supports their own agenda. Many institutions speak about ethics until ethics threatens revenue, authority, or reputation. AI can make this hypocrisy easier because it can build a persuasive case for almost anything. It can make a weak argument sound mature, a harmful decision sound strategic, and a predetermined conclusion look analytical. That is why intellectual integrity is non-negotiable. You must not use AI merely to justify what you already wanted to believe. You must use it to test your thinking, expose weaknesses, reveal missing perspectives, and identify consequences you may prefer not to see. A modern thinker with integrity does not ask, "Can this be made persuasive?" They ask, "Is this actually true, fair, relevant, accurate, and responsible?" This is the difference between communication and manipulation. The AI age will produce endless persuasive content, but persuasion without integrity becomes manufactured consent. The fourth trait is intellectual courage. This is the willingness to face evidence, questions, and possibilities that threaten your comfort, identity, status, ideology, or business model. It is easy to criticize systems you already dislike. It is easy to challenge ideas that cost you nothing. Real courage begins when the truth threatens something you benefit from. AI will expose many uncomfortable realities. It may reveal that large parts of modern work were maintained not because they were meaningful, but because economic systems required people to sell time for survival. It may reveal that bureaucracy often protects authority more than it solves problems. It may reveal that many leadership hierarchies existed because information was restricted, not because judgment was superior. It may reveal that some industries survive by creating dependency, distraction, fear, or artificial scarcity. The fearful leader will use AI to preserve control. The courageous leader will ask whether that control is still justified. The fearful institution will use AI to reduce headcount while protecting privilege. The courageous institution will ask how AI can reduce drudgery, distribute opportunity, and release human beings into more creative, relational, and meaningful work. Intellectual courage is not provocation for attention. It is the discipline of saying what must be examined, even when examination creates discomfort. Without courage, AI will strengthen old power structures with new tools. With courage, AI can help us redesign systems that no longer serve human flourishing. The fifth trait is intellectual perseverance. This is the ability to stay with complex problems instead of accepting the first convenient answer. AI creates instant clarity, but not every clear answer is deep. Some problems require time, tension, contradiction, and sustained inquiry. Human development does not happen only through completion. It happens through the struggle to understand. This matters in education, management, engineering, governance, and personal growth. If a student uses AI to bypass the effort of constructing an argument, the assignment may look complete, but the thinker remains underdeveloped. If a manager uses AI to summarize conflict without understanding the human emotions underneath, the report may be efficient, but the culture remains unresolved. If an engineer accepts a generated explanation without tracing the system logic, the documentation may improve while the understanding weakens. AI should remove unnecessary drudgery, duplication, and administrative waste. It should not remove every intellectual struggle, because struggle is often where judgment grows. The modern mind must learn to distinguish between wasteful effort and necessary difficulty. Not all difficulty is inefficiency. Some difficulty is the cost of depth. The sixth trait is confidence in reason. This means believing that disciplined inquiry, evidence, dialogue, and correction can produce better judgment than manipulation, tribal loyalty, or blind emotion. This does not mean worshiping rationality as if humans are perfectly objective. We are not. We are influenced by fear, identity, memory, desire, status, and culture. But we can improve our thinking when we submit our claims to evidence, challenge, and revision. The AI age will produce two dangerous extremes. One extreme is blind faith in machine output, where people assume algorithms are neutral because they process data. The other extreme is total cynicism, where people believe truth is impossible, and every claim is just power disguised as reason. Both extremes are dangerous. Blind faith produces obedience. Cynicism produces collapse. Confidence in reason asks for something stronger. It says decisions must remain explainable, evidence must remain visible, assumptions must remain open to challenge, and conclusions must remain correctable. A serious leader does not hide behind the sentence, "The model recommended it." That a serious leader asks whether the model's purpose is valid, whether the data is relevant, whether the consequences are acceptable, and whether the decision can survive ethical scrutiny. When synthetic media, automated persuasion, and personalized misinformation become common, confidence in reason becomes a civic protection. It keeps dialogue possible. It keeps truth worth pursuing. It keeps disagreement productive rather than destructive. The seventh trait is intellectual empathy. This is the capacity to understand how the world appears from a position you do not occupy. It is not agreement. It is not emotional softness. It is not lowering standards. It is the discipline of entering another frame of reference before judging it. AI can describe many human experiences, but it does not inhabit human vulnerability. It does not know what it means to lose dignity, live under surveillance, feel economically trapped, be ignored by institutions, care for a sick parent, face discrimination, or watch a local environment collapse. It can summarize these realities, but it does not carry them. This is why intellectual empathy cannot be automated. Leaders who rely only on dashboards and models may slowly lose contact with lived reality. A worker becomes a productivity unit, a student becomes a score, a patient becomes a risk category, a community becomes a data cluster. Intellectual empathy restores the human interior behind the metric. In AI design, empathy asks who was consulted, who was excluded, who carries the harm, who lacks the power to appeal, and whose life does not fit the dominant pattern. A system can be technically accurate and still humanly destructive. It can optimize performance while damaging dignity. It can increase efficiency while deepening alienation. Empathy expands the field of what must be considered. The eighth trait is fairmindedness. This is the commitment to judge beyond personal advantage, group loyalty, or institutional convenience. Fairness is easy to praise when it protects us, but difficult to practice when it requires us to surrender advantage. AI will create massive fairness questions. Who owns the productivity created by automation? Who benefits when labor is reduced? Who absorbs disruption? Who controls the data? Who has access to advanced tools? Who can challenge automated decisions? Who receives opportunity and who becomes invisible? These questions cannot be answered by efficiency alone. An efficient system can still be unjust. A profitable system can still be destructive. A technically accurate system can still violate dignity. A widely adopted system can still concentrate power. Fair-mindedness asks whether the metric itself is fair. It asks whether AI is being used to liberate human beings from unnecessary labor or simply to extract more value from fewer people. It asks whether technology is strengthening communities or weakening them. It asks whether automation gains are being shared or captured. It asks whether progress is real when only a few experience it. This is where critical thinking meets the future of civilization. AI can help humanity reduce drudgery, improve education, support healthcare, strengthen engineering design, restore ecosystems, simplify public systems, and expand creative participation. But that positive future will not happen automatically. It requires humans with enough intellectual character to direct intelligence toward humane ends. The modern leader must therefore become a custodian of judgment. A custodian of judgment protects the conditions under which good thinking can happen. They create space for dissent. They preserve accountability. They expose assumptions. They ask better questions. They refuse to automate what should remain morally human. They do not ask only, can AI do this? They ask, should AI do this? Under what conditions? For whose benefit? With what safeguards? And toward what purpose? This is the leadership standard we need now. Education must also change. It must stop treating learning as mere output production. If AI can produce the output, then the real purpose of education becomes clear. The purpose is not the essay, report, presentation, or assignment. The purpose is the development of the mind through the process of creating it. If students bypass the process, they may submit better-looking work while becoming less capable. So the future of education is not only AI literacy, it is intellectual character formation. Students must learn to question, test, reason, revise, explain, defend, listen, empathize, and judge. They must learn when AI helps learning and when it quietly removes the very struggle that learning requires. The same applies to organizations. AI should not be used merely to increase speed, reduce cost, or produce more content. It should be used to remove waste, support better decisions, strengthen human creativity, increase transparency, improve safety, reduce drudgery, and allow people to do more meaningful work. If AI only helps old systems become faster at extraction, control, and distraction, then we have not progressed. We have only upgraded the machinery of dysfunction. The end purpose of critical thinking in the AI age is human freedom. A person who cannot examine claims is easy to manipulate. A person who cannot tolerate uncertainty is easy to frighten. A person who cannot think independently is easy to control. A person who cannot understand another perspective is easy to divide. A person who cannot persist through complexity is easy to distract. A person without integrity is easy to recruit into hypocrisy. A person without fairness will reproduce injustice whenever injustice benefits them. That is why intellectual traits are not decorative virtues. They are safeguards of human agency. The real question is not whether AI can think. The real question is whether we will continue to think when we no longer have to. Will we preserve humility when machines speak with confidence? Will we preserve autonomy when answers become effortless? Will we preserve integrity when persuasion becomes programmable? Will we preserve courage when systems reward conformity? Will we preserve perseverance when summaries hide complexity? Will we preserve reason when synthetic misinformation becomes cheap? Will we preserve empathy when humans are reduced to data? Will we preserve fairness when technology gives the powerful even more power to protect their advantage? These questions will shape the future of work, education, leadership, governance, creativity, and society. So as you enter deeper into the AI age, do not ask only how to use the tool. Ask what kind of thinker the tool is making you. Ask whether you are becoming sharper or more dependent, deeper or faster, wiser or merely more productive. Ask whether your organization is using AI to expand human possibility or simply intensify old pressures. Ask whether your leadership is becoming more humane or only more optimized. Because the machine can generate the answer, but you must still choose the purpose. The machine can produce the recommendation, but you must still carry responsibility. The machine can amplify intelligence, but only human character can decide whether that intelligence serves life, dignity, creativity, community, and future generations. If this conversation matters to you, like this episode, share it with people who care about leadership, education, engineering, management, and the future of AI, and subscribe to the channel for more sharp, practical, and reflective training content. Get in touch if you want to explore how these ideas apply to leadership, engineering design, automation, project management, and human-centered AI adoption. Follow me on my LinkedIn newsletter, where I expand these frameworks into deeper articles for modern professionals, leaders, and critical thinkers building a better 21st century.